Hi, welcome to Coding Droplets, and thank you for watching this video. So in this video, we are going to see how we can implement Redis cache in a .NET Core application. So I request you to subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed it yet, so that you will get notified once we upload new videos. And also I request you to support us by liking and sharing the video. So now let's start the session. So first of all, let's see what is Redis. So this is the Redis website, redis.io. And here you can see Redis is an open source in-memory data structure store used as a database, cache, and message broker. So we have already done some videos based on the message brokers like MQTT, RabbitMQ, etc. So you can see those videos in our channel. So Redis also can be used as a message broker, but in this video, we are not going to use Redis as a message broker. Instead, we are going to use Redis as a cache data storage. So from our application, a .NET Core application, we will be saving the data to Redis, and from our application itself, we will be able to retrieve the data from Redis. So we will be using our we will be using Redis to store the data. But it is not an actual database. It is an in-memory database. So I will explain more in detail while we explain the implementation. And Redis can be downloaded from this website itself. So here you can see the options for Docker. And if you're using Linux, you can download it like this. So for Debian, Ubuntu, all these details they have given. Now, if you're using a Windows machine, then you can use this URL. It's a GitHub URL, github.com/Microsoft Archive/Redis/releases. So here you can see multiple releases of Redis. So this is a pre-release 3.2.100. And yeah, here there's a latest release 3.0.504. So this is the latest release while I'm recording this video. Okay, so you can download it from here. So there is a 64-bit download option, an MSI file. You can download it from here. So you can download it and install it in your machine if you're using Windows. Otherwise, you can go for these options in Redis website itself. Okay, so now let's see how we can implement this Redis cache functionality in our application. So just before starting the development, let us discuss about the use cases of Redis cache. So you might be thinking, if you are new to Redis, you might be thinking, what is the use of Redis cache and why I need to implement Redis cache in my application? So let me discuss about an example. So just think that you need to show some dashboard in your application. So here I'm showing a sample dashboard. So here we are showing so many values like total revenue, order status, income status, customer status, world sellings, and the values, the percentage of sales in each countries. Then some summary. Here also we are showing so many values. So basically, if we need to show these kind of dashboards, we need to process our records in our database. So we will be having so many records like the products, the sales records, then the customer records. So many kind of tables will be there in our database, and we have to process. We have to calculate the sum, the count, and all those things to show these kind of dashboards. So if you're having a huge data for processing these kind of values, it will take some time. So when a customer or when a user is accessing your dashboard, they might have to wait some time for the data to get processed. So in order to overcome this, what we can do is we can process this data and save the processed data into Redis cache. Like we can save these kind of values like total revenue, order status value, income status value, all these kind of values in Redis cache. So what we can do is either from our application itself, we can check whether the data is available in Redis cache. And if it is not available, then we will process the data and we will save it to the Redis cache. Then we will display the values to the user. So next time, if some other user is coming to the dashboard, again, you don't need to process the data. Again, we have already processed it and saved it to the Redis cache. And we can directly fetch the data from Redis cache. As it is an in-memory database, it is very fast to retrieve the data from Redis, and we can directly show it. So the performance will be much better compared to processing the data from the database. Okay, so this is one use case. Also, we can use Redis cache for saving some temporary data. So if you need to save some data temporarily for few minutes or hours, then you can use Redis cache. So these are the use cases of Redis cache. Now let us check how we can implement this Redis cache functionality in our application. So now let us create a project, a .NET Core project, in order to implement Redis functionality. So I'm clicking on create a new project. And let us choose ASP.NET Core Web App MVC. Clicking on next. And I'm naming it as Redis Demo. And let me choose okay, I'll save it in my desktop itself. Fine. Now clicking on next. Okay, the target framework, I'm using .NET 5. And I don't need configure for HTTPS, so removing that. Okay, fine. Now I'm clicking on create. So now it is creating the project. You can see a folder has been created in my desktop. Okay, I think it got created. Yes. So now the project has been created. You can see the project files in the Solution Explorer. Now the first thing what we need to do is we need to install a library in order to implement Redis functionality in our application. So in order to install the library, I'm right-clicking on dependencies and selecting Manage NuGet Packages. And now you can see there is no packages installed in our application. Now I'm going to the Browse tab and searching for Microsoft. Yeah, it is here. Microsoft.extensions.caching.stack-exchange Redis. So there are multiple libraries for implementing Redis functionality. So here in this demo, we are using this particular library for implementation. So I have selected this one, and the version, now I'm using 5.0.1. Why? Because in 6.0, I have seen some issue, but I don't know whether it is a bug or not. So anyway, you can try with the latest version. So if some issues happen, you can just downgrade the version and try it. So 5.0.1 is the one which I'm going to install now. So I'm clicking on the install button. So it is asking for the confirmation. Okay, I accept. Okay, fine. Now the library got installed and it is showing that an update is available, but anyway, I'm not going to update. So now let us confirm it by going to the dependencies, and inside packages, we can see that the library has been added. So using this library, we are going to implement the functionality. Now let's see how we can implement those. So the first thing what we are going to do is adding the dependency. So we need to open startup.cs class, and in this method, configure services method, we are adding the dependency here. So services dot add stack exchange Redis cache, and we can provide the options. So I'm just using providing options such that okay, options dot configuration. So configuration is for connecting to the Redis service. So the configuration here I'm providing is local host colon 6379. So 6379 is the default port number for Redis, and Redis has been installed in my local machine. So I have used localhost here. Okay. Now the next thing is options dot instance name is equal to, we can provide a name for the instance. So I'll explain how this instance name work. So here I'm providing it as Redis demo, the same name of our application. Okay, so the instance name is used for while we are saving a data to Redis, the Redis will save the data in key value format. So there will be a key and a value. So for each key, Redis will add this instance name as a prefix so that you will come to know once we implement the Redis functionality. I will show you in detail how this instance name works. You can also read these values from the application settings. So that will be the best option so that you'll be able to edit it anytime when you are deploying this application. So what we can do is we can open the app settings.json, and I'll do one thing. I'll create a new section for Redis connection. Okay, now inside that, I'm giving two values, configuration. It is localhost colon 6379 and instance name Redis demo. Okay, now we are from startup class, we will read the values from this application settings JSON file. So for that, we can provide it like this: configuration dot get section of Redis connection. So this is the section. Okay. Now dot get value of string, and the key is configuration. Now in the same way, I'm just copying this. We just need to change the key here. So the key is instance name. Fine. Now we are reading the configuration and the instance name from the app settings.json file. So now in our application, let's go to the home controller. There is a auto-generated controller class. So anyway, we don't need all this. I'm removing everything inside home controller and remove the unnecessary usings as well. Fine. And also we have some model class. Anyway, we don't need this one as well. Removing that. Now in home, yeah, there is an index, some auto-generated view. I'm removing those. Shared, yeah, let layout be here. But we are making some changes. We don't need all this. Anyway, we are not going to create any designs as this is a demo application. We just need a simple layout file. Okay. Fine. Now in home controller, I'm creating two different methods. The first one, public action result. So let's name this save Redis cache. Okay. And inside this, we are just giving return view. So first we need to create a view for save Redis cache. So let it be an empty view and the name is save Redis cache. Okay, fine, the view has been created. So here in this view, we just display a message, Redis cache has been created. Okay, fine. So now first let us implement this functionality, save data to Redis cache. So for that, I'm creating a model class and naming it as dashboard data. So let's assume we are developing an application which is having a dashboard, and in the dashboard we have to show some values. Okay, so the values to be displayed in the dashboard, we will save the values, or we will use this model class in order to save the values in Redis cache. So let us create some values, public int total customers, so or total customer count. So let's say it is showing a value of the total number of customers. Okay, now next, total revenue, then what else? Okay, top selling product name. So this should be a string variable. The property should be a string data type. Okay. Now let's say one more thing. Okay. Now another thing is public string top selling country name. So it just holds a name of the country in which the maximum sale occurs. Okay, fine. Anyway, for this demo purpose, we are showing these 4 different values. So now what we are going to do is we will be assigning some values to this data. So in a real application, what you can do is you can fetch the data from your database, the real database, and you can process the data. Then you can save it to Redis cache. So now for this demo, what I'm doing is I'm creating for dashboard data is equal to new dashboard data, and I'm assigning some hard-coded values. So for example, total customer count is some 100,450. Okay. Then, so in real application, you have to count the number of customers and assign the value to this property, total customer count of dashboard data. And total revenue is, say, I'm giving some value. Okay, fine. Now, top selling country, United States. Okay. Now, top selling product. Okay, some MacBook Pro. Fine. So we are showing these 4 values. We need to show these 4 values in our dashboard. So first, what we are going to do is we are saving this data in our Redis cache. Then in our dashboard, we will retrieve the data from Redis cache and display it. This is what we are going to do. So in order to do that, first, I'm creating a constructor of home controller. And as we have added the dependency injection, now what we can do is here I can give I distributed cache. So for that, we need to use Microsoft.extensions.caching.distributed. Okay. now distributed cache, and I'm declaring a private variable, same I distributed cache. Okay, underscore underscore distributed cache. So underscore distributed cache is equal to distributed cache. Okay, so now we will get the object here, and we are saving it to this private variable. And now next thing what we are going to do is, for saving a Redis cache, first we need to declare a distributed cache entry option. So distributed cache entry options is equal to new distributed cache entry options. Now in this options, we can assign some values. The first one I need to explain is about absolute expiration relative to now. So here what we are going to do is, we are going to assign a time span or a particular period for this Redis, for this particular record in Redis. So for an example, in our dashboard data will get, okay, in a daily basis, we need to update. So tomorrow our dashboard data will get changed. So we need to include today's data, and we need to show the new data tomorrow. Okay, so in that case, we only need, or we need to make this record expire once we complete the current day. So next day, early morning itself, this data should expire. So for that, first we need to get the total number of seconds. Okay, so var total seconds or minutes, whatever you can, but here I'm using seconds. Okay, is equal to, or else just before that, so I'm getting tomorrow's date. So tomorrow is equal to date time dot now dot date. We are just removing the hour, minutes, and seconds, everything from the date. We are just taking the date, today's date here. Now dot add days of 1. So automatically it will, now this variable will get tomorrow's date. Okay. Now the next thing what we need to do is, we need to calculate the total seconds. So total seconds is equal to tomorrow dot subtract date time dot now. Okay. Dot total seconds, we will get in total seconds. Fine. So now we got how many seconds we need this data to be valid, or after this many seconds, the data should expire. Okay, now we are assigning this to absolute expiration relative to now is equal to time span dot from seconds. So if you are calculating minutes, you can use from minutes here. So as now I have taken the seconds, I have given from seconds of total seconds. Okay, so from now, once this command got executed, so the option will be having, this cache will be having an option assigned that this particular record should expire within this many seconds. Okay. Now the next thing what I need to explain is distributed cache entry options dot sliding expiration. So sliding expiration means if this particular data is not used for some time, say, so for example, if this particular record is not used for another 1 hour, then if we need to automatically expire this data, then we can provide that time span dot from hours of 1. So now what will happen is, after 1 hour, if none of the application is using this particular record, then it will get expired. But here in our scenario, we don't need this to happen. So I'm just providing it as null. Okay. So now we have declared the distributed cache entry options. Now the next thing what we need to do is we need to convert this particular data or this particular object to a JSON string. So we are going to save this data as a JSON string in a Redis cache. So in order to do that, there are so many libraries to convert an object or a list to JSON. So I'm installing one library named Newtonsoft JSON. Okay, here it is. I'm installing it. This is a very famous library to serialize or deserialize JSON objects. Okay, now what I'm doing is for JSON string or JSON data is equal to JSON convert. So here we need to use newtonsoft.json dot serialize object of dashboard data. So now you can see this JSON data is a string data type. So this object will be converted to a JSON string. And now we are going to save this JSON string to our Redis cache. So for that, this object, distributed cache object dot set. Okay, we can use one asynchronous method. So set string async. So in order to use that, we can make this method asynchronous, async task of action result. Fine, now that is asynchronous. So here we can await this. Okay, in order to use task, we need using system.threading.tasks. Okay, I'm adding it. Okay. So Redis will save the data in a key value format. So we need to provide a key. Say I am providing the key as dashboard data. So using the same key, we will be able to retrieve the data. Okay. Now the next thing we need to provide is the next parameter is the value. So that is the JSON data. And the third parameter, it can be the distributed cache entry option. Fine, this is enough. So now, once we run this, or once we open this particular view, save Redis cache view, then it will save the data in Redis cache. So let's see how it works. Let me run the application. It is getting compiled. Sorry, some error is there somewhere. Oh, okay. That is because we have some error model error view here. We don't need this. We can remove it. Okay. Those views are automatically created while we create the application, create the project. Okay, so I have removed it. Now I think it should work. Okay, fine. It is working. So now let me check our URL. It is home/save Redis cache. Okay. So just before running it, I need to introduce you one more application, that is Redis Insight. This is an application which we can download from Redis official website itself. So you can just Google for Redis Insight and you will be able to find out this application. So once we run this application, it will automatically run an application in the local host, and we can add a Redis database. So for adding a Redis database, we can connect to a Redis database using hostname. We can provide local host here, then the port number, and we can provide some name and save it. That is enough. So I have already saved it and it is showing here. So now we can see we have 0 keys. So we have not created any keys yet, and one connected client. So the connected client is the same, this application, this Redis Insight is connected to the Redis service. So that is the one application. Now our application is not yet connected. So now what I'm doing is, here I'm giving home slash, what is the name? Save Redis cache. Save Redis cache. Yeah, now you can see as we have given in our view, it is showing Redis cache has been created. Okay, now let me open this Redis Insight. Okay, now you can see there is one key has been saved. Okay, we can see this key here. If we click on the browse here, now you can see the name of the key is Redis demo dashboard data. But we have given the name as dashboard data, the key name as dashboard data. So this is what I have explained in the previous explained before. While we if we provide an instance name, this instance name will be used as a prefix for each keys which we create from this application. Okay, so this is the instance name Redis demo, and dashboard data is the key name actually. So the application will create concat both instance name and cache key name, then it will create the key. Okay, fine. Now the key has been created, and now the next thing what we need to do is we are creating one more view, public async task of action result, say dashboard. I'm not giving any, or I'm not designing anything, just showing the data as it is a demo. So return view. Now we need to create a view for this. Okay, the name of the view is dashboard. Fine. So now we need to show what are the values we need to show. Okay, total customer count. So let's say this total customers is something. Okay, here var dashboard data is equal to view back dot dashboard data. Okay, and the type is dashboard data. Fine. So we will be sending from the backend, we will be sending using view back, so that we have not yet implemented it, but we will implement it soon. So first, let me provide the design. So total customers is dashboard data dot total customer count. Then in the next line, what is the next data? Total revenue. Okay, total revenue is dashboard data dot total revenue. Then next line, what's next? Top selling country. Okay, top selling product and country. We have both, right? Yes. Top selling product and top selling country. This is top selling country. Okay. Now it is dashboard data dot top selling product name. Here we have to provide dashboard data dot top selling country name. Okay. Fine. Now what we have to do here is we need to retrieve the data from Redis first. So to do that, I'm just, okay, var JSON data is equal to distributed cache dot get string async. Now here we have to provide the key. So we don't need to provide the instance name. It will get automatically added. We can just provide the normal key name here. Okay, that is enough. Now, next thing we need to convert it to the dashboard data object. So var dashboard data is equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object. Now here I'm giving the data type. It is dashboard data. Okay. Now the string which we need to convert is the JSON data. Okay. Now in this variable we will get the dashboard data, but here it is showing. Oh, okay. Here I have not given the await keyword. Okay. Now it is fine. Now the next thing what we need to do is we need to assign the value to the viewback. So viewback.dashboard data is equal to dashboard data. Fine. Now I'm running it. So now we need to open home/dashboard. And here you can see now it is showing the total customers, total revenue, top selling product, all these things. So now all these values have been retrieved from our Redis cache. From we can open the Redis Insight. So here we can see we have a key here, but this particular key or this particular record will get expired the very next day. So after that, we have calculated the seconds for expiration. So after completing those seconds, it will get automatically expired. So again, the next day we have to calculate the values or process the data from our database. In a real database, we have to process the data from the database and save it to the Redis cache. So in a real example, what you can do is you can create some service application. That is one option. Well, the best, I think that is the best option if you are having a lot of data, big data. So using a service application, you can fetch the records and calculate, or you can completely do the calculations from a service application and save the processed data in Redis. And in dashboard, you can just display the data by retrieving it from the Redis cache. So hope you enjoyed the video and you are clear about the concept. So if you have any doubts, please comment to the video. I will reply as soon as possible. And please support us by liking the video and sharing the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. So see you in the next video. Thank you all.